When I came to hell, the name Dracula meant a great deal more than long pointy teeth and an inaccurate Moldovan accent. I was Vlad Tepes, Vlad the Impaler, 10 times more ruthless than that foppish celluloid bat that bears my name. And yet, for all my protestation, I will be forever confused with that buck-toothed perversion that bears my name.
But the blood?
That is such a myth.
That you drank blood?
No, that I enjoyed drinking blood. But sometimes one must do things for an effect. You understand? Panache. In this 15th century, genocide had become terribly generic. Everyone was doing it. But of course, the Crusaders were the worst of the bunch. I leave it to the church to make mass murder for mass consumption. When they killed, they did it in God's name. And for some reason, that made murder a sacrament. Now, I ask you, where is the fun in that? If you take the sin out of murder, you take the sex out of sin. In their misguided religious fervor, they could not see that they were tinkering with an art form that has been around since Cain looked at Abel and decided that a blow to the head might make his brother's appearance more aesthetically pleasing. I needed an angle. You see, a fresh approach. Now, one afternoon, after a particularly raunchy torture session, this ill-mannered fool began bleeding all over my dinner, squirting his life right into my wine glass. What was I supposed to do? He had no thought in the world. As for the terribly awkward position it was putting me in, the whole court was staring. Now, at first, it turned out to be just the thing. News spread quick of the ruthless, blood-drinking Prince Vlad. But, unfortunately, after a time, it became all the rage. So, what now? Back to beheadings? Boiling the flesh? Hanging? Disemboweling? They had all lost their luster. But then, when I was at the apogee of my unhappiness, I had the most wonderful vision. Impalement. Now, I was confident, but not hubristically so. The church had stolen my thunder before. I waited on word from Rome with bated breath. And finally, the Pope released an encyclical stating his, and therefore God's, opposition to impalement. He said, and I'm quoting here, maybe paraphrase, that no Pole should go where not even God himself had license to go. My triumph over the mighty forces of mediocrity were undeniable and complete. The moment that first pole crept up that first colon, I became forever known as Vlad the Impaler, ruthless, soulless, merciless, but an unequivocal original.